Have you ever wondered why Mexico is the 15th largest economy in the world, but still struggles with poverty? The answer lies in its incredible untapped potential. Mexico is the 7th largest agricultural producer in the world, has access to 2 oceans, and occupies a key strategic position for international trade. These resources and advantages represent huge opportunities that many are unaware of, while the attention is focused on more superficial aspects. We will discover together why the smartest investors are setting their sights on this country full of resources and opportunities to be exploited. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos. Let's continue. The hidden economic giant, the true size of Mexico. Did you know that Mexico makes more cars than Brazil, Spain, or the United Kingdom? Most people don't know that. When we think of Mexico, the first things that come to mind are beautiful beaches, tacos, tequila, and mariachi bands. But behind these stereotypes hides an economic giant that is slowly waking up. Mexico has the 15th largest economy in the world, surpassing powers like Spain and Saudi Arabia, although the international media rarely recognize this achievement, focusing more on its tourist attractions or news about drug trafficking. With over 130 million inhabitants, Mexico is the 10th most populous country in the world and the 3rd in America. Its population structure represents a strategic advantage, with a mostly young population of working age, an invaluable human resource for its economic future. Its territory of almost 2 million square kilometers is home to between 10 and 12% of all the world's biodiversity, a natural treasure with incalculable ecological value and enormous economic potential for sectors such as biotechnology, ecotourism, and scientific research. In the agricultural field, Mexico stands out as the 7th largest producer in the world. Its fields generate huge quantities of coffee, sugar, corn, oranges, and avocados that not only supply the domestic market, but are also exported all over the world. Even more impressive, Mexico is the 4th largest beer producer in the world and the largest global exporter of this beverage. Every time you enjoy a Mexican beer, you are contributing to one of its most successful industries. Where the Mexican economy really shines is in its manufacturing sector. Giants like Toyota, BMW, Samsung, Bombardier, Fox, Audi, Ford, and General Motors have established huge plants in Mexican territory. The reason? A highly competitive workforce with wages even lower than those in China, giving significant advantages to its industry. However, despite these strengths, the Mexican economy has faced a major challenge for decades: its excessive dependence on oil. This situation has hindered economic diversification and has made the country vulnerable to fluctuations in crude oil prices on international markets. In short, Mexico is not just a country of beautiful beaches and rich culture, but a developing economic power with an impressive productive diversification ranging from agriculture to advanced manufacturing, producing goods that reach every corner of the planet. The geographic gem, prime location, an economic powerhouse. While many countries spend millions to create artificial trade routes, Mexico was born with a geographic gift that could be worth more than all its oil and gold combined. What is this invisible treasure that is revolutionizing the global economy, and why are world powers watching it with such interest? Mexico holds the master key to global trade. It is the only Latin American country with direct access to both the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. This natural advantage, underestimated for decades, allows Mexico to connect directly with the main trade routes of the planet without intermediaries. Add to this the 2,000-mile border it shares with the United States, the largest economy in the world. This proximity is a huge competitive advantage. While products from Vietnam or India take weeks to reach American consumers, Mexican products cross the border in a matter of hours. This strategic position makes Mexico a natural bridge between worlds. It connects North America with Central America and serves as a link between Europe and Asia, functioning as the ideal logistics center for world trade. Mexico is capitalizing on this natural prize with projects such as the Interoceanic Corridor in the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. This mega project will connect the Gulf of Mexico with the Pacific through a modern railroad between Coatzacoalcos and Salina Cruz, offering an alternative to the Panama Canal just as it reaches its maximum capacity. The Mexican route will relieve this pressure and offer a more efficient path for goods traveling between Asia and the US East Coast. For local communities, it will mean an economic transformation with new jobs and opportunities. The privileged location explains why Mexico has signed free trade agreements with 46 countries. giving it preferential access to markets that represent 60% of world GDP. It is a direct path to trade with the most important economies without the barriers faced by other countries. This geographical advantage is gaining more value with the phenomenon of nearshoring. Companies that previously produced in Asia are moving their operations to Mexico to reduce transportation costs, shorten delivery times, and minimize geopolitical risks. Proximity has become the new treasure of the global economy. To take full advantage of this natural prize, Mexico needs to modernize its infrastructure with better roads, more efficient ports, and state-of-the-art logistics systems. Only then can it transform its location into a sustainable competitive advantage. If you are liking the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos. Let's continue. Between giants, Mexico in the new trade war. Mexico's great location isn't just attracting investments, it's also getting the attention of two superpowers fighting for control of the global economy. Have you ever wondered why Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on all Mexican products by February 2025? Behind this trade threat lies a geopolitical battle that's changing Mexico's role in the world economy. Mexico has become a chessboard where the United States and China are making strategic moves. The US wants to stop China's influence in its backyard, while China is expanding its presence in Latin America. And there, right in the middle, is Mexico, taking advantage of the situation. Trump's announcement about the 25% tariffs shows that Washington is worried about China's growing influence in the region. Although he talked about immigration and drugs, what he really wants is to keep Mexico economically close and reduce its reliance on Asian products. In response, President Claudia Sheinbaum stood her ground. Her Plan B includes tariffs and other measures to protect Mexican industries from US protectionism. Mexico is no longer accepting one-sided decisions without a fight. The fascinating thing is how the government is turning this threat into an opportunity. On January 13, 2025, it presented Plan Mexico, a strategy to attract $277 billion in investments and create 1.5 million jobs. This plan aims to make Mexico North America's new factory by taking advantage of nearshoring. This plan modernizes customs with artificial intelligence, cutting processing times by 50% and digitizes paperwork to eliminate the bureaucracy that frustrates foreign investors. Nearshoring is changing the Mexican economic landscape. Companies that used to manufacture in China are now moving their operations to Mexico to benefit from lower shipping costs and faster deliveries. Mexico has another competitive advantage over China: skilled workers with lower wages than many Chinese regions. This combination of talent and cost is proving irresistible to multinational companies looking to improve their supply chains. Mexico's strategy goes even further. The Interoceanic Corridor is not just an infrastructure project. It's part of a plan to position the country as a key player in global supply chains, while improving tax collection and strengthening integration with the North American market. The internal challenge: the roadblocks to economic takeoff. Behind the headlines of million-dollar investments and trade agreements hides another side of Mexico, a side rarely seen in economic reports. In some parts of the country, it's not the laws of the market that determine who succeeds, but the laws of drug cartels. They've turned large areas into zones where economic growth is almost impossible. How can a country with so much business potential have over 36% of its people living in poverty? This contradiction is the big Mexican puzzle that many international investors choose to ignore while they focus on the country's advantages. Corruption acts like a shadow, covering up the brightness of Mexico's potential. It's a deeply rooted system that drains millions of dollars from public funds and erodes public trust every year. This constant drain has created a vicious cycle where insecurity and violence thrive, while the formal economy struggles to survive. In many regions, starting a business requires permission from a cartel before getting approval from the city hall. Mexico is a key transit point for drugs heading north, sparking a war between criminal organizations that results in dozens of murders every day. In these areas, a normal, functioning economy is simply impossible. The impact is devastating: closed businesses, cancelled investments, and a constant loss of talented people. This lack of safety has built an invisible but powerful wall against economic progress, pushing away foreign entrepreneurs who were initially drawn to Mexico's potential. The country's historical dependence on oil has made it difficult to diversify the economy. When oil prices fall, the Mexican economy shakes like a house of cards. This structural weakness prevents long-term planning and leaves the country at the mercy of an increasingly unpredictable global market. perhaps the most serious challenge is the extreme inequality. While a small elite enjoys wealth comparable to the highest global standards, millions of Mexicans live in alarming poverty. This gap limits the development of the domestic market and the potential for sustainable growth. The contrast is overwhelming. Ultra-modern financial centers in Mexico City or Monterrey stand in stark contrast to communities without access to clean drinking water or reliable electricity. This duality not only reflects a failure to distribute wealth fairly, but also represents a huge waste of human and productive potential. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos. Let's continue. In conclusion, while Mexico's future looks bright thanks to the competitive advantages we've already talked about, the real challenge is at home. This ancient country finds itself at a crossroads in its history, where its ability to solve internal problems will determine its global path. Effectively implementing the Mexico Plan can attract massive investments and strengthen national production, but this requires simultaneously fighting corruption and the lack of safety that holds back Mexico's potential. Nearshoring, its population and strategic location are winning cards on the world stage. The question is not whether Mexico has the potential, but whether it will have the political will to seize this unique moment. The future is in the hands of all Mexicans. Do you think this Latin American giant will finally awaken